Okay, so yesterday we discussed the general point on the parabola y square equal to 4ax is 80 square comma 280, and t is a real number parameter. When t is 0 will be here, when t is 1, 2, 3, 4, any positive will be covering all these points, and t is negative will be covering all these points, but it will cover every point on the parabola 80 square comma 280. We also have seen T1, T2 equal to -1 is a condition for the T1 and T2 to be ends of a focal chord, and T1, T2 equal to -4 for it to subtend 90 degrees at the origin vertex. Okay, now let us see what is the equation of tangent at 80 square comma 280. So this is a parabola y square equal to 4ax. One point on that is 80 square comma 280. At that point there is a tangent. What is the equation of that? You can do S1 equal to 0, you can use calculus, anything is okay. If you do S1 equal to 0, y into another y, you should write 280. 4ax, you can write 2ax plus 2ax, and x you can write 80 square. You can cancel 2a everywhere, okay. Then you'll get x minus ty plus 80 square equal to 0. It's a tangent. Even if you use calculus, 2y dy by dx is equal to 4a. dy by dx is 2a by y. And when you substitute 280 here, you will get 1 by t. 2a by 280 will be 1 by t. Okay, so we know slope 1 by t and we know point. You can find the equation of the tangent. What is the equation of the normal? Okay, so slope of tangent equal to 1 by t. So based on that, slope of normal, okay, is minus t. You know slope of the normal is minus t and you know point. So the equation of the normal will be y minus 280 is equal to minus t into x minus 80 square. And bring everything one side, we'll get tx plus y is equal to 80 cube plus 280. So we should remember this general tangent and general normal. But we expect a general tangent to be in terms of slope m, and here also in terms of slope m. Here if I take slope m equal to what is it, minus t, wherever t is there I can write minus m. When I put t equal to minus m back, it will come minus mx plus y is equal to minus am cube minus 2a. If we send everything to that side, we'll get y is equal to mx minus am cube minus 2a. This is a general normal whose slope is m. General tangent we already know earlier, but once again, if you want, you can take here m equal to 1 by t. Wherever t is there, I have to write 1 by m here. Then it will come x minus y by m plus a by m square equal to 0. From that, you will get y equal to mx plus a by m. Okay, this is a general normal having slope m. This is a general tangent. This is a general normal. But at which point it is normal? Because t value is minus m, 80 square comma 280, in that write t as minus m. This is a normal that too at am square comma minus 2am. This is also general tangent, but at which point here t value is 1 by m. If you put that in 80 square comma 280, a by m square comma 2a by. So this is a general tangent with slope m, that too at this point it is tangent. This is a general normal with slope m, that too at this point, am square comma minus 2a. Now, if you take a parabola and if a point outside the parabola is given, we know we can draw two tangents from the figure, we can get a field. But apart from that, algebraically how to prove? If this point is x1 comma y1 is given, somebody wants to find these two equations. Substitute in this. This is a general tangent. Put x1 here, y1 here. When you do cross multiplication, you'll get a quadratic equation in terms of m. And that quadratic equation in terms of m will have two slopes, two roots. One for this, one for this. So there are two. So similarly, the same way, if somebody asks, if there is a parabola, there is a point inside the parabola, through that I can draw how many normals of the parabola. It will be 3. Why? You can take this general normal or this general normal and substitute some h comma k. When you substitute h here, k here, when you bring one side, you'll get a cubic equation in terms of t. Or here you'll get a cubic equation in terms of m. Then you'll get three slopes. One for this, one for this one. Or you get three t values, one for this, one for this, one for this. So passing through any point, maximum three normals. It is not always three normals because a cubic equation may not have three real roots. Sometimes you can have one real and two complex. Sometimes you can have two equal roots also. That means two roots are equal and one distinct. So effectively it is two normal, but maximum. So the maximum number of tangents through a point is two, and maximum number of normals through any point is three. In fact, where this point is normal, where this line is normal, where this line is normal, these 3 points are called co-normal points. The normal set 3 places are concurrent at a point, then the original 3 points on the parabola where normals are concurrent, those 3 points are called co-normal points. There are a few properties related to co-normal points. We are going to see that. Maybe we'll discuss different properties related to tangent and then we'll come to normal again. Okay, so we'll enter tangent two formulas and normal two formulas. Is it okay up to here, whatever is there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, if you want to talk about different things about tangent, if we take tangent at T1 and T2 where they intersect, let's say this is AT1 square comma 2AT. This is AT2 square comma 2AT. This point, the point of intersection of tangents at T1 and T2 is A T1 T2 comma A into T1 plus T2. How did this come? You really take tangent equation here, x minus T1y plus AT1 square equal to 0. Take tangent here, x minus T2y plus AT2 square equal to 0. Solve these two, you will get this point. You can notice carefully, this x coordinate is geometric mean of this x coordinate and this x coordinate. And this y coordinate is arithmetic mean of this y coordinate and this y coordinate. This plus this by 2 is this, root over this into this is this. Now, if I take a midpoint of these two and this point, when you join, it will be parallel to x-axis. Why it is parallel to x-axis? Because this and this are same y coordinate. If 2 points have same y coordinate, they lie on the horizontal line. Okay. So we'll discuss about that. We'll use it in few places, but you can remember whenever you draw tangents at two places and take this midpoint and join, okay, they will lie on a horizontal line. Even if you take a parabola and take 2 points here and there's a midpoint which go backward horizontally, draw tangent here and a tangent here, they'll intersect on that line if you draw figure carefully. Okay, right here you can notice one thing back to back. What is that is, this need not be focal chord, but let us say if it is focal chord, this is T1, this is T2, this is A comma 0, then the point of intersection of the tangents, okay, that to be T1, T2 will be -1 now, because it will become minus A comma A into T1 plus T2. Whenever T1, T2 ends of focal chord, T1 into T2 is -1. When you pull that, you'll get minus A. If x coordinate is minus A, that point will always lie on the line x plus A equal to 0, which is directrix. So right here we proved that you take any focal chord at the ends, you draw tangents where they'll intersect. Okay, use directrix. That means for the focus, the polar is directrix. And for the directrix, the pole is focus. So instead of all these things, we do S1 equal to 0, also it will come. For a comma 0, what is polar? S1 equal to 0. If you do that, we'll get y into 0, that is y square. 4ax is 2ax plus 2a into a. Okay, one x is as it is, another x is a, y is 0. So we are getting 2a common. 0 equal to 2a into x plus a. X plus a equal to 0. For that matter, you take parabola or ellipse or hyperbola. Take the focus. When you do S1 equal to 0, definitely you'll get directrix. So for every focus, the polar is directrix. So even in ellipse chapter, if you have a focus, take any chord through that. At the end, you draw tangents. That point will lie on the directrix. If you take any focal chord here and at the end you draw tangents, it lie on that corresponding directrix. In hyperbola also same. And it is not just that when you draw tangents here, they intersect here. This angle is 90. The two tangents are perpendicular. You take any focal chord, the tangents at the ends of the focal chord are perpendicular. Why? This slope of the tangent is 1 by t1. This slope of the tangent is 1 by t2. You'll get 1 by t1 t2. T1 t2 is minus 1. So you'll get minus 1. So locus of point of intersection of perpendicular tangents is directrix, or you take any focal chord at the end when you draw tangents, they will intersect on the directrix, that too they are perpendicular. Or you take any point on the directrix when you draw two tangents, they are perpendicular and the chord of contact will always pass through focus. Okay. So even though this can be proved in some other way, that just using t1 t2 equal to minus 1, we are able to prove this. One more thing is there. Using this particular formula at1 t2 comma a into t1 plus t2. We have a parabola. Take any 3 points on the parabola. Draw tangent here, draw tangent here, and draw tangent here. And also join these 3 given points on the parabola. So whenever you take 3 points on the parabola, they'll form a triangle. It has some area. When you draw tangents there, they'll also form some triangle. This area is always off of this. If this is delta by 2. Of course, in the figure they may look same because I did not draw the parabola that properly. Otherwise, okay. How to prove that this area is always off of this? A parabola and 3 points are there and tangents are there. I'll take this as T1, this as T2, this as T3. This is a point of intersection of tangents at T1 and T2. So it will be A T1, T2 and A into T1 plus T2. This one is point of intersection of tangent here and here, which is A T1, T3, comma A into T1 plus T3. This is point of intersection of tangents here and here, which is A T2, T3, comma A into T2 plus T3. If you want now, 3 vertices of a triangle. Let's say there is a triangle with x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3. The area formula is determinant x1, y1, 1, x2, y2, 1, x3, y3, 1. Of course, you can take a mod because it can't be negative. So this area will come of mod at1 square, 2at1, 1, at2 square, 2at2, 1, at3 square, 2at3, 1. That is the area of this triangle. You can take a common, 2a common, finally you'll get a square, and other determinant is simply t1 minus t2 into t2 minus t3 into t3 minus t1 using properties of determinant. When I take this area, that is of a t1 t2 a into t1 plus t2 1 a t2 t3 a into t2 plus t3 1 a t3 t1 a into t3 plus t1 and 1. You can take one a common here, it will become a square. That determinant also it will come when you expand t1 minus t2 into t2 minus t3 into t3 minus t1. Both are more or less same, except for, sorry, this by 2 is there. Yeah. So because of this by 2, other thing is same. This area is half of this. Okay, that is one standard property. In fact, in this is a very standard property, from long time this question is there. In JEE Advanced, one time they asked as integer question where if you know this, it is easier. If you thought that also you can do. They really gave these points. And they asked find the tangent here, tangent here, tangent here. They asked what is this area by this area. If you know property, it is 2 very quickly. But they gave specific points. If somebody wants, you can find that way also. But in general, proving is better. Is this all right to everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, let us discuss about co-normal points. If there is a point h comma k and there are 3 normals of the parabola which passes through h comma k, and let's say this t value is t1, this is t2, this is t3. Any normal of a parabola will be in the form of tx plus y is equal to 8ht plus 2a. You should pass through h comma k. You can substitute h and k. Th plus k is equal to 8h plus 2a. When you bring everything one side, it's a cubic equation 80 cube plus 2a minus h into t minus k equal to 0. Now, because cubic equation at most will have 3 roots, sum of the roots is 0 because t square is missing. So obviously t1 plus t2 plus t3 is 0. And t1 t2 plus t2 t3 plus t3 t1. According to theory of equation, sum of the roots is t square coefficient by this coefficient with the minus. So two things will be this by this. So 2a minus h by a. And t1 into t2 into t3 is negative of this k by a. Of course, we may not use these two so much apart from this, but at least we can know this one. Sum of the 3 t values is 0. So when you really take the centroid of this triangle, this point, this point, this point, you should lie on x-axis because y coordinate is 2at1 plus 2at2 plus 2at3 by 3, which is 0. Almost same thing. Instead of this normal, you can take y equal to mx minus am cube minus 2a. If really 3 normals are concurrent at a point, sum of the slope should be 0. Why? Again, this should pass h comma k. Bring one side, you'll get am cube plus 2a minus h into m plus k equal to 0. What is sum of the roots? Because m square is missing is 0. So whenever three normals are concurrent at a point, their sum of the slopes must be 0. Sum of their t values also must be 0. And the centroid of these three will lie on the x-axis. One more thing not related to this, and then we'll combine is that you take a parabola and you take a circle. Take a parabola and take a circle. Let's say they intersect at 4 points. The sum of these t values for these 4 things will be 0. Why? We take general circle, x square plus y square plus 2gx plus 2f5 plus c equal to 0. All these points are in the form of 80 square comma 280. So substitute it. Here you can substitute 80 square. Here you can write 280. Here also 80 square. Here also 280. When you expand this, I have t power 4 here, t square here, t square here, t here constant, but there is no t cube. No t cube means for this fourth degree equation, sum of the roots is 0. Okay, t power 4 is there, t square is there, but t cube is not there, 0 into t cube. Because of that, sum of roots is 0. So whenever a circle and parabola intersects, there will be 4 points of intersection, sum of the t values is 0. Now there's a way to combine these two, that is, whenever 3 co-normal points are there, passing through all of them, you can draw one circle. And that circle will definitely intersect the parabola at one more point. If you draw that properly, that will be always origin. So your circle will be like this. Why? Why the circle passing through these three should also pass through vertex is that fourth vertex, where it is, I don't know, I'll call it a T4. Just now we studied T1 plus T2 plus T3 plus T4 should be 0 here based on some of the rules. And according to co-normal points, T1 plus T2 plus T3 is 0. It's totally 0. This is 0 means T4 alone must be 0. Okay, so that's it. So whenever there are 4 consecutive points on a parabola, sum of the t values is 0. Whenever there are 3 co-normal points, sum of the t value should be 0. The fourth t value should be 0 whenever there is a circle passing through the 3 co-normal points. The fourth point where it intersects in circle is origin. All of you are able to follow this? Okay. Okay. Just think about it. Just a minute. I'll come back. All right.
So there's
What
the
happened?
normal the triangle forming the means 3 points are there and the triangle is formed. So the centroid.
The 3 points are there. They are co-normal points. Their centroid will lie on x-axis. Centroid.
Yes, sir. Once x
Why?
means T1 plus.
So if this is point, 3 points are there, what is the centroid's y coordinate? 2a t1 plus 2a t2 plus 2a t3 by 3. If I take 2a common, it is t1 plus t2 plus t3 by 3. But t1 plus t2 plus t3 is 0, right?
Okay.
That's why the y coordinate is 0. X coordinate we cannot say because x coordinate is a common. T1 square plus T2 square plus T3 square by 3. We don't know anything about it. Right?
Okay. Sir.
Okay, quite relate to this. One more thing I can tell. You take any point on the parabola and draw the normal there. The normal here. You take a point here, draw the normal. Take a point here, draw the normal. You can take a point here, draw the normal. You'll see for every normal, they will intersect x-axis at different places. But you take any normal where it is intersecting x-axis, that point will lie somewhere here and here. But you see, there is some region which is uncut by any one of the normals. Another way of saying is, if you take a point here, through that point you can draw three normals, 1, 2, and x-axis itself is a normal. But if you take a point here, or here, or here, x-axis is the only normal, other two normals are not there. What is the transition point beyond which you take any point on x-axis, you can draw three normals to the parabola, before which you can only draw normal, one normal, which is x-axis. Anybody remembers what is that point?
Sir, once again, can you repeat?
You take
There's
a
something
point,
like
you take point on axis. If you take a point somewhere here, you can draw three normals to the parabola. One is normal here, here, x-axis normal.
so 1 minute.
If you take a point here, there's only one normal, which is axis only. There is no two other normals like this. So there is a particular point. There is a called transition point. Let us say. You take any point beyond that on x-axis, through that you can draw three normals. Any point before that you can draw only one normal to the parabola. What is that changing?
The 2a comes.
Yeah, it is 2a comma 0. How did you say that?
Sir, when I put x comma 0 in the equation, means that one, I got 2a minus x by x, a is equals t square, sir. If
Yeah.
2a minus x is less than.
Yes. You can take the general normal, substitute h comma 0, and then we'll see one thing. Another method is, if you take a normal, let us see what is the x-intercept of that. What the x-intercept means, put y equal to 0. Then divide with t. Look at x is equal to at square plus 2a. What is the least value of at square plus 2a? 2a.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you take any normal anywhere, the x-intercept will be minimum 2a. That's why when you take a normal here or normal here, they will intersect x-axis beyond 2a, not before 2a. So if you take anything beyond 2a comma 0, there will be three normals. Anything before 2a comma 0, there's only one normal, including 2a comma 0, only one normal, which is x-axis. That is by finding x-intercept of the normal. Or almost same, you take passing through a point, how to know whether three normals are there or not. So take the general normal, tx plus y is equal to at cube plus 2at. Let us take substitute a point on x-axis h comma 0. I'll put h here, 0 here. What is the cubic equation? At cube plus 2a minus h into t equal to 0. Take t common, we'll get t equal to 0, or t equal at square plus 2a minus h equal to 0. So we'll get t equal to 0 or t square equal to 2a minus h, sorry, h minus 2a by a. T equal to 0, already got one solution. Now, whether I'll get two more solutions or not depends on this. If it is 0, again I'll get t equal to 0, only same solution. If it is positive, plus or minus root of that, I'll get two solutions. If it is negative, no solution. So if you want to have two more solutions from this, h minus 2a by a should be greater than 0, h should be greater than 2a. So only when on x-axis, when you cross beyond 2a, then only you can draw three normals to parabola. Before that, only one normal. One may say, what if it is not on x-axis, if it is somewhere else? You can use your theory of equations or calculus here. For example, if somebody says, Where are all the points from which I can draw three normals to the parabola? It is actually somewhat a curve like this. Okay. You take any point here, you can draw three normals. This curve is there. One may say how to find that curve. Okay. You take general normal Tx plus y is equal to 80q plus 280. Let us say that point is h comma k. So put h and k. What are the conditions that h and k should satisfy to have three solutions? So first of all, I'll bring this side 80q plus 2a minus h into t minus k equal to 0. How will you know whether a cubic equation has three roots or not? According to theory of equations, if something has three roots, a cubic equation, its graph will be like this. You should have one local maxima, one local minimum. But only having local maxima, local minima is not sufficient because your graph can be like this. This also has local maxima, local minima, but intersecting x-axis only once. What is the difference between this and this? Here both local maxima and local minima are positive. That is here local maxima and local minima are negative. So first of all, if it has three roots, the derivative of this should have two roots, even according to Rolle's theorem. If f of alpha is 0 and f of beta is 0, between alpha beta somewhere f dash x should be 0. If f of beta is 0, f of gamma is 0, between them somewhere f dash x should be 0. So the derivative of this should have two roots. So let us find the derivative of this. 3a t square plus 2a minus h is the derivative. This part equation should have two roots. Means basically this can't be positive. This is positive, positive plus positive, positive. It should be negative. So 2a minus h by a should be less than 0 or h should be greater than 2. But that alone is not sufficient because it may be of this type. When you substitute the roots of this equation back here, that is this point y coordinate, this point y coordinate, they should have opposite sign. So if you equate it to 0, t will come plus or minus root over h minus 2a by 3. You substitute plus of that in this, minus of that in this, you get some expression into some expression that should be less than 2. Okay. When you take like that, okay, then you will get one inequality. That inequality is actually this whole region. Okay, this may be a little beyond, but as and when question comes, using this thing, you can prove it. But otherwise, not like a formula, you should know this curve equation or something. But if it's on the axis, we already know for sure it should be beyond 2. Okay, just some stray points I may be making. Like we have formula for if you take 2 points and draw tangents, there's a formula for point of intersection of tangents. Similarly, if you draw normal here, they'll intersect one point. There's a formula for that also. If this is T1 and this is T2, what is the equation of normal at T1? T1x plus y is equal to 81q plus 281. Normal at T2 is T2x plus y is equal to 82q plus 280. When you solve, the point of intersection normals will not come as simple as point of intersection of tangents. A T1, T2, A into T1 plus T2 is very simple and we use quite often. Point of intersection normals we use very, very rarely. This will come minus A T1, T2. T1 plus T2. And A into T1 square plus T2 square plus T1, T2 minus 1. Something like this will come. Maybe we did not give in our material, but just roughly remembering this minus 81, T2, something of this sort. If you want, we can derive, it doesn't take much time. And I don't want to. When I subtract, what will come? X into T1 minus T2. Here a into T1 cube minus T2 cube plus 2a into T1 minus T2. I can divide with T1 minus T2. I wrote y coordinate plus 2, not minus 1. When you divide it, what will come x? A into, I wrote everything reverse. X coordinate is T1 square plus T1 T2 plus T2 square plus 2. That is x coordinate. Y coordinate is minus a T1 T2 into T1 plus 2. Directly we can find y coordinate if required. Multiply this with T2, this with T1, x will go. What will happen to y? You will get T2 minus T1. This with T2, this with T1 minus subtract, I'll get a T1, T2 common, T1 square minus T2 square. And this with T2, this with T1 subtract, they'll get cancelled. That's one. So this is not. That's it. Take T1 minus T2 common, 1 minus common, y coordinate become minus a T1 T2 into T1 plus T2. Yeah, this is a y coordinate, this is a x coordinate. This is a point of intersection of the normals at T1 and T2. Okay, but we use quite rarely. A into T1 square plus T2 square plus T1 T2 plus 2 minus a T1 T2. Point of intersection. Okay. So now this formula, what I'm going to tell, we'll use quite often. If you take any point on the parabola and draw normal there, it will intersect the parabola at one more point. If this is T1 and this is T2, there's a relation between T1 and T2. That is T2 equal to minus T1 minus 2 by 2. It's a very important formula we use very often. If normal at T1 on the parabola intersects the parabola again at T2, is a condition. How did we derive this? You can find the slope of PQ in two ways. Because it is normal, the tangent at T1 has slope 1 by T1 and normal have minus T2. So slope of PQ one way is minus T2. And any chord joining T1 and T2 is 2 by T1 plus T2. Just equate them. The normal at P or PQ slope both should be same. Bring this one here, T1 down. You get T1 plus T2 equal to 2 by minus T2. And T1 that side. T2 equal to minus T1 minus 2 by 2. That is exactly this. Okay, just think about these things, then we'll continue. If you have the material with you, volume 1 only you should be having, you can just refer to the synopsis and have a look at it. And I don't know, in MCET questions, this kind of question also should come. Okay, you can look at the question number 45 is exactly this one on the screen. If normal at T1 meets the parabola again at the point T2, what is T1, T2? You can multiply T1 here minus T1 square. Okay, quite related to this, there is one more thing. If you take normal here, it will pass through, let us say, a particular point. There can be another point also where the normal there also passes through this. Let's say this is T1, this is T2, this is T3. Of course, they are co-normal points because the normal here, and of course here there is one more normal, they're concurrent. But more than that, the normal at T1, normal at T2, they can intersect anywhere. They can intersect here, they can intersect here. But what is the condition for them to intersect on the same parabola somewhere else? Is T1 into T2 equal to 2? Why? If normal at T1 intersects at T3, the formula just now we derived T3 is minus T1 minus 2 by T2. If a normal at T2 intersects at T3, T3 is equal to minus T2 minus 2 by T2. So these two should be same. One obvious answer is T1 and T2 are equal, but they are distinct points, so they can't be same. Then what is the other condition? This, instead of equating to this, we can equate it to this. So when equate minus T1 equal to minus 2 by T2, we'll get T1, T2 equal to 2. If we just don't want to equate, bring this T2 here, this one to other side, we'll get T2 minus T1 equal to 2 by T1 minus 2 by T2. T2 minus T1, if you simplify 2 into T2 minus T1 by T1. This T2 minus T1, this T2 minus T1 are same. Bring here, you will get T1, T2 equal to. Okay, so if you know 2 points on the parabola such a way that the normals at those 2 points intersect on the same parabola, the condition is T1, T2 equal to. Okay, this also we use quite often. Okay, what else regarding co-normal points? Okay, that's it. I think parametric forms related things, most of the things are covered here. One last thing I should have told you before is from an external point x1, y1 to a parabola y square equal to 4ax, etc. tangents. There's a formula for that area. How did this come? So this is one point. These are the two tangents. This is x1, y1. This is B, this is Q, this is R. I find area of triangle PQR. I'll take this point as 81 square comma 280. This point as 82 square comma 280. This point is obviously A T1 T2 A into T1 plus. Okay. First we'll find area in terms of T1 T2. At the last I'll put x1 by. So 1 by 2 mod determinant A T1 square 2A T1 1. A T2 square 2A T2 1. A T1 T2 A into T1 plus T2. Okay, whenever 1 is there, you can subtract rows, and when you do all that, you'll get one A common here, one A common. I think we'll get half A square, and actually properly simplify, you'll get T1 minus T2 whole cube. A square by 2. This T1 minus T2 whole cube can be written as T1 minus T2 whole square whole power 3 by 2. That can be written as t1 plus t2 whole square minus 4 t1 t2 whole power 3 by 2 square by 2 t1 plus t2. When I equate this to a t1 plus t2, I can write y by y t1 t2. When I equate a t1 t2 to x1 t1 t2, I can write x1 by whole power 3 by 2. So when you simplify, this will come y1 square minus 4a x1 whole power 3 by 2. Down a square with this 3 by 2 a cube, with this a square cancel, I'll get by 2a. So which is basically S11 whole power 3 by 2 by 2. Okay. So it may be a solved example in IP, but otherwise it is a standard point. Might be useful sometime. Or at least if you have an idea how to derive this, you can derive whenever required. Of course, some of the things we only proving for y square equal to 4x. So for other things, we have to manipulate accordingly. Anybody, any doubts so far? You want me to repeat any particular point, or you want clarity on any particular point we discussed till now?
Sir, here x1, y1 is the point of intersection of tangents, sir.
Yeah, if the external point is x1, y1, they did not give q and r. They asked the area of this triangle PQR. It is in terms of x1, y1, this is a point. T1 and T2 we took just for convenience to derive this. So I'll discuss something a little more today, and then only special properties of the parabola are left. So Monday I'll discuss about special properties. So with that, parabola theory will be over. Only you have to practice and discuss from advanced material even numbers. And I'm set to solve most of them. I think you can get on your own. If doubts are there, we'll discuss. Okay, one or two small things here. We all know that if you take, there is any chord, if you know midpoint of the chord is x1, y1, equation of the chord is s1 equal to s1. When I'm not deriving it, it is true for all the conic sections. Okay. If you know point and you want the line, you can use this. But if line is given and you want to find this point, there's no point in taking this x1, y1, finding s1 equal to s1 and compare. Okay. It is not going to come that easily. Best is really solve the parabola and line. You eliminate y or x, you'll get a quadratic equation in terms of x or y. Even though you don't find the roots, at least you have some idea that these x coordinates are the roots of that. Sum of the roots by 2 you take, you'll get this x coordinate. Then automatically you'll know y coordinate because you know line. So if line is given, finding midpoint is best is just try to solve that. If point is given, you want the line s1 equal to s1. Apart from that, there is something called diameter. Diameter of a circle, diameter of a parabola, ellipse, hyperbola. What is the definition of diameter?
Sir, 1 second, sir.
Yes, madam.
1 second, sir. None of them have turned down their sir. What is this, sir? Do I look like a joker to them, sir? Every time I should keep on reminding them to turn on their videos. I'm not handling only this class, sir. So many classes are there, sir.
Yes. So children, you should be responsible by yourself.
I know,
Not that
sir,
only
they are
when
grown up, they should be responsible. They should not be always monitoring. I won't be able to do policing job for you all. లోపలికి వచ్చి చూస్తే వీడియో ఆన్ చేయడం లేకపోతే ఆఫ్ చేయడం.
So when you have a set of parallel chords, either in the circle or parabola, ellipse, hyperbola, all of them, you take the midpoint of this chord, take the midpoint of this chord, this chord, this chord, this chord, join all of them. You'll get a line. That line is called diameter. In circle, it is the usual diameter only that you know. Any line passing through center is called a diameter. Why? Because if you take set of parallel chords, take all their midpoints and you join, what you get is actually a circle, a line passing the center. So it is a diameter that you think you know. Okay. Whereas in the case of ellipse, if there are some set of parallel chords like this, they all have the midpoints. When you join, you will get a line passing through the center of the ellipse. So you can say in one sense, for ellipse, you take any line passing through center is a diameter. But the definition is not that. Definition is locus of midpoint of a set of parallel chords is a line. That line is called diameter. In hyperbola, it will come a line passing through center. In ellipse also, it will come a line passing through center. In circle also, it will come a line passing center, but not in parabola. In parabola, you will get lines parallel to axis. Okay. If somebody says
Oh, why
parabola,
did I define like this?
you take a parabola, draw parallel lines. Take all their midpoints and you join, you'll get a horizontal line. Why? Not from the figure. You take the midpoint as x1, y1. What is the equation of the chord? S1 equal to S1. Right? And that is y1 minus 2ax minus 2ax1 equal to y1 square minus 4ax. What is the slope of this line? This is x coordinate, this is a y coordinate. So 2a by y1. That I want to be constant k. Then what I got bring here, this one here, y equal to 2a by k. So the locus of the midpoint of the chord, whose slope is k, okay, is y equal to 2a by k, and we got a horizontal. Okay. In fact, the slope and midpoints y coordinate have a connection. We know that. If this is t1, this is t2. What is the slope of this? 2 by t1 plus t2. And what is the midpoints y coordinate? A into t1 plus t2. If this is a constant, this y coordinate will be a constant. And if y coordinate is constant, it is a horizontal line, which is this y equal to 2a by. Is it okay, Pranay?
I didn't understand.
Okay. You take a parabola, draw any chord you want. Parallel to that, you draw a lot of chords. Take the midpoint of this chord, this chord, this chord, this chord. When you join all of them, you'll get a line that will always come horizontal line. That horizontal line is called diameter. It's a parallel to axis. The definition of diameter is locus of midpoints of parallel chords. Okay. It need not be a horizontal line. In the case of parabola, it became horizontal line. But in the case of circle, it will be a line passing through the center. In the case of ellipse and hyperbola also, it will be a line passing through the center. So circle, ellipse, hyperbola, you don't have any problem diameter. The usual meaning that you know, a line passing through center is called diameter. But in parabola, any line parallel to axis is called diameter. Why I am explaining here? If I know all these lines have slope k, what is the locus of their midpoints? We take the midpoint as x1, y1. The equation of the line is s1 equal to s11. And I took the slope of that and equated to a constant k. The locus came y equal to 2a by k. Y equal to constant. What is that? It is a horizontal line, right? Okay. So that's why. So if I take a parabola, this is a diameter, this is a diameter, this is a diameter. All these horizontal lines are diameter. Right? Okay, I'll just ask one question and then if you answer that, we'll stop this class. You take a point here and draw the normal. It will intersect somewhere here. You take a point here and draw normal, it intersects somewhere here. You take a normal, it intersects somewhere here. You take here, it intersects somewhere. You take here, it intersects somewhere. Similarly, if you take normal here, it may be like this. Normal here may be like this. Normal here like this. Normal here like this. Let me take only the upper part, it is easy to see. Or lower part. I'll take normals at different places. This is a normal here. 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 Initially, when I took the normal, it intersected a parabola at one more point here somewhat. When I took here and here, the point came towards this. But again, after some time, when you draw the normal again, where it is intersecting is here. You take different points on the parabola, draw the normals. You can see some part of the parabola is uncut by any one of these normals. So there is a point beyond which only any normal will intersect the parabola again. What is that minimum x coordinate? I want to know. So if you take P a point on the parabola, if the normal it intersects the parabola at Q, what is the least value of x coordinate of this Q? That is the question.
That's true.
Normal at P intersects again at Q, the parabola.
Sir,
I want-
80, sir.
Yeah, it is
X
80.
coordinate.
Yes, correct. If this is T1 and this is T2, we have a formula. If normal at T1 again intersects at T2, T2 equal to minus T1 minus T by 2. If you want x coordinate, it is a T2 square, which is a into T1 plus 2 by T1 whole square. You can use AMG inequality, you will get to 2 root 2, or you can make perfect square and write T1 minus 2 by T1 whole square plus 8. Something whole square, minimum value 0, 0 plus 8 is 8, 8 into a 80. So the least x coordinate will be 80. Simply, if you know this formula, you can do it. That's all. If normal at T1, again intersects at T2, T2 equal to minus T1 minus 2 by T. All right. So I'm only discussing the theory, and the TEMSET questions have some questions. I don't say on every formula one question is there. If you want like that, better to take our earlier mains material. You can redo those questions. You will find small questions on each formula. Okay. So tomorrow I'll discuss, Monday I'll discuss about special properties of parabola, and then advanced material will start doing. All right. Okay. Thank you. You can all leave, and if somebody is interested, you can join the KVPV class to other link. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.